evening. Uh, Tonight, I would like to talk about soldiers and generals. Uh, the title of the letter will be on the soldier and the general, meaning that I'm speaking about one specific soldier and one specific general. During times of war, generals are given missions or orders when a state's existence is threatened. The state's existence as a state is threatened, meaning that the sovereignty of the state, the ability to make laws for itself which favor it and its prosperity and its survival as a state. Of course, bearing in mind that states can change their missions and their future plans at any given time, given the government that is there at that time. Because normally political parties and politicians disagree on policy matters, which makes me question long-term planning such as Agenda 2063 or Agenda 2030, because different governments can come in and have a different macroeconomic policy and political strategy domestically in Africa, in intercontinental agreements, and also in international agreements. Once a head of state or a head of government has given, or a monarch or a sovereign has given an order to the generals communicate that order to those who are beneath them in rank, because a military system is based on rank, because the existence of a colonel, a general, a private, a GI Joe, a special ops, and all manners of ranks show us that there is a rank to be climbed, meaning that there is inequality, whether of salaries or of just rank itself, and the ability to tell someone to do something that they would not otherwise do, or that they would do but they would have a different justification for. When a war lasts long, the mission may change and new soldiers may be recruited and given a secondary or tertiary mission without knowing the original order. A war may be so long in a democracy that a new leader is elected during the war or mid-war. A problem may emerge when the new democratic leader is anti-war, that is to say, he or she is a pacifist. Soldiers may be demobilized, disarmed, and given back their civilian clothes. The pacifist leader may view them as barbarians, and they may not find sympathy from the new order. In that situation, they may plot a coup in order to justify their original mission and their very existence as people who fought a war which was authorized by a correct authority or the right authority, a head of state. That is perhaps Adolf Hitler's argument that while they were at war in World War I, the politics of Germany changed and they were forced by executive orders to stop fighting, when according to him, they still had a chance of winning in the theater of war. On a related note, soldiers and companies may develop their military culture based on being shoulder to shoulder during the heat of battle, under shelling, under bombing, and heavy fire. Soldiers may take for themselves slaves, comfort women, and lover boys, which may not be part of their overt mission. That is to say, they may violate the rights, including the dignity of their prisoners of war or just their captives. Then, who has the responsibility for preventing mission drifts and the violation of humanity? You will remember that crimes against humanity are the crimes that shock the conscience of man, because man is not supposed to be shocked, having been created just 6 days after the word appeared. So man came after everything had been created, so meaning that he has nothing to be afraid of because he was God's last creation before he rested on the Sabbath. At a domestic level, we may ask, was Ria Pieja responsible for Marikana, or was the leader of government business, President Ramaphosa, responsible? Thank you.